Are you done clearing your throat? Let me clear my throat.
That's right.
You the man. You the man.
No, you the man.
No, you the man.
No, you the man.
How could I possibly be the man when you the man?
No, you the man.
No, you the man.
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome. This episode is rated PG. Parental guidance is suggested. Please welcome your hosts, Mike and Darin.
Hey, everybody, I'm Darin.
I'm Mike.
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome. This is episode 87.
1987
Yes.
was the year that the Joshua Tree was released.
That is
That's
true.
all the math I'm doing.
Okay, and that's all the U2 talk we're going to have tonight.
Exactly.
For people who are anti-U2, Mike hates you. We're not going to do it.
Nope. Not going to.
We've got a big show for you tonight. Didn't your wife get a ticket?
She stopped.
She's breaking the law. Breaking the law.
She broke the
Breaking the
law.
law.
and
Breaking
got
the
a
law.
ticket. Yes, she did. So I'll talk about that.
And I have a classic drinking story that happened back in the 90s. I wasn't the one who got drunk, but it's you do not want to miss it.
Okay.
How you doing?
I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Good. Before we start, I want to apologize for last week's episode. For all our loyal listeners, Mike and I, something was wrong. Neither of us could talk to save our life. I mean, I was supposed to be talking about the movie Arlington Road, but I kept thinking that it was blown away.
Yeah.
I realized I'm in the car on my way back to my house. I'm like, Darin, you hated the movie Blown Away. But I kept talking about how great a movie it was and it had that ending, right?
Yeah.
You're like, that's Arlington Road. I'm like, I don't think so.
Yeah, it's like you
I
kept,
don't think so.
the more you described of it, and what clued me in is because I haven't seen Blown Away.
And I was
But you were
convinced.
describing a movie that I've seen.
I was convinced it was Blown
Yeah.
Away, and it wasn't. It was Arlington Road. And then you were convinced that True Grit was called True Dirt. Yeah, I kept calling Billy Joel Elton John.
Yeah.
I kept, what's her name? Zoe Deschanel. I kept calling her the good girl instead of the new girl. I mean, like, the whole episode was packed full of inaccuracies. And so my apologies to Kevin Nolan, who had nothing to do with last week, but I feel like I should apologize to him. Apologies to Zoe Deschanel, Elton John, Billy Joel, Tommy Lee Jones,
Yeah.
Tim Burton,
Here's the
Timothy
thing.
Hutton.
There's been
Anybody
many.
who watched that movie.
I've mentioned this before, and I'll
Yep.
say it again. There's been many times I go back and listen to an old episode, and I hear myself talking about something, and I'm completely wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, old school listeners of the podcast will remember me talking about The Shining a lot.
That's right.
And the famous room number, I still can't remember exactly what the room number was. And I screwed it up for like 3 episodes in a row until
you said-
finally somebody said, it's not that number.
You said 227, and I was making
It's
Marlon
right.
Gibbs
It's
jokes.
I think it's 237, but it might be 217. It's 2 something. People should know that.
By the way, I work for Antenna TV and Rewind TV now, and I've been watching episodes of 227 as I go through and
I
find
like
clips.
227.
I never watched it when it was on air. I
Yeah.
don't know why.
Isn't it filmed on the same set that Sesame Street is?
I think so.
Okay. I kept thinking
You know
Elmo
what? It,
was going
looked,
to
it does look. It looks exactly like Oscar the Grouch should be
Yeah.
right outside of right underneath where Pearl.
Was there a guy named Mr. McFeely in Sesame Street?
No,
And
no,
I
no.
just-
That Mr. McFeely was on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Okay, that's an
Yeah.
unfortunate name.
It is.
Really. They
But
were.
yeah, Oscar the
it's a
Grouch should be
different time.
right underneath the window where Pearl sits. And
Yeah.
she's the older lady. She goes, I know this is going to be good.
Yeah.
And then Oscar comes out, I love trash. It would have been great.
In my mind, there is a crossover episode. We've just got to be something on YouTube,
Yeah.
and I don't care enough to look.
I will look.
Okay.
But as I was going through these episodes, and this isn't on the rundown, I had not planned on talking about 227. There's an episode with Pee Wee Herman that's hilarious.
Really?
There's an episode where Run DMC.
Oh yeah,
Is
I
on
would.
there?
I would see Run DMC was everywhere for a couple of years,
Yeah.
like everywhere.
Yeah. There's an episode with the Temptations. I'm like,
Okay.
why didn't I watch this show when it was on air?
Yeah.
But anyway, you thought 227 was the room in The Shining, and it wasn't. So apologies for that episode. Yeah. This morning, I went to the dentist. I had my
Good.
I
It's
had
about time.
I know I had my biannual cleaning,
Okay.
and I found out after I was there, the hygienist, she was cleaning my teeth,
Okay.
and she started asking me questions. She says, "I noticed you're wearing your Letterman shirt. Is she still not allowed to watch Leno?" And I'm like, I don't remember telling her that. And then she says, "Have you lost any weight?"
What the hell
I'm
is
thinking,
this?
how fat am I? That she's and then she said something about that you and I were really funny when we talked about that. She listened to the podcast.
Holy crap!
My hygienist listened to the show. And I'm
Wow.
like, that's why she's asking me about.
Wait, was she stalking you online and found out you had a podcast,
No,
or
no.
did you mention it? Or
I had mentioned it because
Okay.
2 or 3 weeks ago, I brought my son to the dentist.
Yeah.
And they had asked what's going on. And Cameron's like, Dad has a podcast.
Okay, so
Right.
it wasn't like you were jacked up on Novocaine. You're like, podcast. Yeah.
Right. So Cameron had mentioned it.
Okay.
And then they actually went and listened to it. Because
Yeah.
when my dentist walked in, he said, "I'm glad to hear you finally got Uber." I'm like, nice to
That
see
is
you too,
awesome.
you know? So
That's an
now,
awesome
I mean,
experience.
that's
Yeah.
awesome that
Yeah.
they listen, but now I can't tell any stories about going to the dentist.
I would never
Because-
let any of this hold you back.
Yeah, because they're listening.
Well, tell them.
Yeah.
You know, this is you can talk to them.
Right. Like sometimes my hygienist will sing while she's cleaning my teeth. I can't talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. My dentist, he thinks he's really funny. I can't talk about that because he listens to the podcast.
Yeah.
And so now I'm going to get in trouble. They're going, dude, how's that funny,
I
man?
have a question for now that I know a dentist and a hygienist are listening to this. I have tons of questions.
Okay.
Question number one.
What, for me or for
For them,
questions for me
I'm
to
not
pass
talking
along?
to you.
Okay.
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking directly to
I know
them.
you should floss. Okay.
No. When you ask us questions about our life, occasionally, now back when I was introvert, and we've talked about this before, I've become an extrovert. But back when I was introverted, it's, oh God, the dentist is talking to me and I have to say words. But then they jam something metal in your mouth and you can't.
Right.
Now they'll ask me things like, "Oh, how are the kids doing?" And there's a moment like you have to like I have a 1,000-word story about what Charlie did last week,
right.
and I have to cut it down to a 4 or 5 word sentence before the metal hits my mouth.
Yeah.
Well, the question I have for them is there internally? I know they're not listening to us.
do
They're
they-
not listening, but did they count down? Is there what's the etiquette for how long the story should be?
Well, he's doing pretty good. You know, he started school and we bought him a new pair of shoes, but he doesn't want to wear them.
And I
we're
have
like, Charlie, where are your shoes?
And I have a follow-up question because I too go to the dentist from time to time.
Oh, good.
And would it be funny, and I'm willing to do anything for the show. We just watched Jackass Forever, so I'm willing to do just about anything for the show. I love Jackass.
Okay.
This could be what breaks us up because I have a deep love for Jackass.
Okay.
Anyway, the point is, I'm willing to launch into a huge story and see how far I can go before they actually interrupt it by shoving metal in my mouth. Where they stop being polite. I'm willing to do that. And I'll film it. I'll record it.
And so then they marched through the mines of Moria. Okay. And then that's when the orcs came, right? And then like, okay. Yeah. I think
And then eagles came.
I know.
And where were the eagles the
why,
whole time?
Why did they get them the whole time?
Yeah.
I think I told this story on the podcast, but if not, I'll tell it again because I don't care. Many years ago, when I lived in Tennessee, I went to my dentist, and they're got 4 hands in my mouth.
Yeah.
You know, the dentist and the hygienist. And I don't know. They may have brought in somebody else. I had my eyes closed. I don't know. But while I'm laying back there, the dentist starts talking to the hygienist, and he says, "I watched this great movie last night. It was the oh gosh, what was it called? A prison movie. It was oh gosh, who was it? Was it Tim? Tim, and I'm thinking it's Tim Robbins. It's the Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah.
And he goes, it's I think it was Tim Roberts, and it's the what was that called? And the lady's like, well, I don't know what it was called. This is Tennessee. I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen that one. And I'm thinking. No, it was the just one. It's a Shawshank Redemption because they kept going back and forth, and I'm like, they're either doing this on purpose to screw with me,
which is what I would do. I would go to, knowing what I know now, if I had to live my life over again, I would go to dental school and do all that just so when someone walks in with a Harry Potter shirt, I was like, oh, this is my moment. Get my hands deep in there. It's like, do you remember when Harry Potter built his own lightsaber?
Yeah.
And then him and Captain Kirk went down to talk to Gandalf about
absolutely. That was
Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Do you remember when that happened?
That was my favorite part, was when they were in the Shire and the ring wraiths chased them.
Yeah. And they ran. I can't.
It'd be like what I was doing with that kid at Universal.
Yeah.
Drove him flipping crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, I'm thrilled that my dentist and the hygienist and everyone at the office are listening to the podcast. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
This portion of our show is brought to you by the Nash Rambler, the new idea car for America's fast-moving, far-traveling family. Rambler has the tightest turning radius of any small car, and Rambler steps away from traffic with lightning ease. The new Nash Rambler from AMC, another reason why AMC means more for Americans.
So speaking of dental work, Easter just happened.
Because you eat a lot of chocolate.
So I don't want to...
Happy belated Easter.
Happy Easter. Now, if you're a parent and you have a child, I would say 11 years or younger, listen to this podcast.
Probably 10 and younger.
10 and younger. Yeah. First off, what the hell are you doing?
Right.
Second, you may want to skip this part of the show.
Right.
Okay.
Don't let the kids listen to any of these episodes.
Okay, so
while you're at it.
We'll pause for a few seconds here to let them get the kids out.
Okay.
We're back.
Well, we'll come back.
Okay. So, and I don't want to shock you, Darin. There's no Easter bunny.
What?
Hey, what happened?
Who brings me my new underwear every year?
That's the leprechauns.
Oh.
No. So we have many different things that we do.
Okay.
We wait until the last minute on absolutely everything.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, you've been every time I edit an episode, you're like, oh my god, it releases in an hour, and this guy still doesn't have it out.
So to put this into perspective for the loyal listeners, on weeks that I edit the show, we record on Tuesday. I usually have it edited Wednesday night, Thursday morning.
Yeah.
Because I can't wait to get it done and produced. I've got ideas that I want to do. Mike does it Monday, like about 9:30, 10 o'clock. I think I'll start editing the show. And I'm like, were you that guy in college who was like, I've got an 18-page paper to do? And then he started at 10 o'clock.
I was that guy. Yeah. So what we do is, for like Christmas, the tradition was we come down here in the movie room, we put on Die Hard. Now it's turned into Lethal Weapon because, 20 odd years of Die Hard.
Right.
I know that it's the thing everybody does now, but I've literally been doing that for 20 something years. Yeah. I need a different movie. Yeah. So I've been doing Lethal Weapon lately.
Yeah. Lethal Weapon's a great movie.
But Easter is no difference. Well, I've got a 14-year-old and a 10-year or 8. How old is that kid?
He's 9, right?
He's 8.
He's 8. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's 8. Hell, I don't know.
So I was working on the baskets in the kitchen with the 14-year-old sitting over here playing video games. Now, Bess was mentioning, well, Andrew's sitting right over there, and I know, but I could be building a bomb over here and he wouldn't know. Like, I could be slaughtering a calf.
Last week when I came over for the podcast, I was wearing a kilt. He didn't notice.
I could be strangling a ferret, and he wouldn't know what's going on. So I don't mind him being there. But at any moment, Charlie could have come down. But usually once Charlie's up, he's up. That's it.
Yeah.
So I'm gleefully putting the skeleton on the island in the kitchen. I don't care who sees me, what happens, putting all the candy and the stuff in there.
Yep.
And then I take it to the front door. I'm like, I'm going to lay it right here in the front door. Well, longtime listeners will know that we have in our house a dog known as Booba.
Dakota.
Yes.
Yes.
Who will
eat
get
anything.
into it. Yeah.
And everything.
So I'm like, okay, I can't do that. So I'm going to take these back and I'll put them on the kitchen table, and it's right out there. So I'm all over. The point is, I'm all over the place while this is happening. I go to bed. We get up. It's Easter. Hey, Dad, the Easter Bunny came. Oh, yay. It was Andrew that told me, he's playing along, and Charlie's excited. They're trying to figure out which basket is theirs. We try to make it obvious.
Right.
And one will have Legos. The other one will have like a switchblade. Okay. Which one goes
Charlie
with
gets the switchblade.
Yeah. So he's doing all this, and he's got like a mouthful of jelly beans and something else, and Andrew's like putting together a thing, like a little origami thing that Bess got him. And then Charlie just kind of mentions, we need to review the footage here pretty soon.
Wait, the footage?
The footage.
Okay.
He literally said, we need to review the footage.
Those were his words?
Yes.
Okay.
Those were his words.
Okay.
Review the footage.
Like he's on the January 6th committee.
Yeah. You know how we have a record scratch sound in the podcast?
Yeah.
In my head, that happened. And me and Bess looked at each other, and she said, footage. And he said, yeah, I put a camera up. And
you didn't happen to put a camera in Mommy and Daddy's room, too, did you? Okay.
Yeah. I put a camera up to catch the Easter Bunny.
What camera?
Oh, so Bess is sly. Oh, where'd you put it? Where he put it, it's possible. I'm a large person. Yeah, it's possible where I was walking, he may not have seen my face, but he definitely saw the gut come out from around the thing with the basket, and he may have heard me say, F that. I'm coming back over here. He has not yet. What is this, Tuesday? This was Sunday. We've managed to distract him.
Okay.
And he hasn't, I don't think he's reviewed the footage yet. Even if I'm not in frame, because besides me being there, Bess was all over in frame, changing things around and moving things. Now she has to explain what she was doing, manipulating things and moving them around. That we could just say, Mommy she gets OCD and she likes to move things around in the middle of the night.
Right.
What's Dad doing? Because at that hour of night, Dad is either down here playing video games or he's upstairs snoring, and that's it. He does not stand around in the island and cuss.
Okay, this is what I should have done. I saw that you posted this on your Facebook page. Stupid me. I should have brought over the rabbit. I should have brought Figgy. All you had to do was get one frame, and then you freeze it. We've got him. We got the Easter Bunny right there, right? And then take him home. Let him poop all over the house. And then you have. I should have brought footage of Figgy the bunny.
But so there may be footage. We don't know. We think he used Bess's phone, but he may have also used the iPad.
Right.
We do a thing where anything that's recorded on our phones, it instantly goes up to our Google Drive and is available to everyone in the family.
Right.
So,
and the world.
I could look, and the world. I mean, I've said this before. When the Google, when the Order 66 comes down and Darth Sidious takes over, I'll be the first one drug out of the house and shot, because they know everything about me.
So it's anybody who wants to hack and read my messages, good luck.
Good luck.
I hope you have fun falling to sleep reading those texts.
That's my long-term plan. I want to end up in an insane asylum and not executed. He's crazy. Just kill him. But I mean, he's really crazy. We got to extract some of that.
We got all
weaponize it.
Mike keeps texting this guy. Darin keeps telling him to go. What's that all about?
Mike has weaponized crazy.
For years, I have made a joke where the punchline was, in college, I was in a band called this. Say Crazy Hammers. I was in a band called the Crazy Hammers, And I've done it over and over and over.
See, I've had a similar joke where I say I was in a cover band called, but it's about the same thing.
Exactly. And so I just keep doing it. And now my kids steal it. Hey, my dad was in a band called the Crazy Hammers. Libby went on a girls' trip. A friend of hers had a 50th birthday, and they went to Asheville, North Carolina, went to the Biltmore House and went hiking and stuff. While they were there, I don't know who brought it up. I don't know why, but Libby came home and she says, Darin, you used to be in a band called Venomous Beaver. I'm like, I don't want to know the background story behind it.
I want to currently be in a band called Venomous Beaver.
Venomous Beaver. So that's going to be my band.
Okay.
Me and my buddy Ted, we're going to be Venomous Beaver.
Okay.
We're going to tour.
You actually made my nose start running.
But
Venomous Beaver.
I don't know where it came from. And I didn't even ask her. I'm like, I don't really care. Whatever happened, it's not going to make the name of this band any better knowing the background of it.
It says so much in two words. One, it's the beaver is venomous, which means it's biting or it's otherwise inflicting pain,
right?
Which is venomous, which means there's non-venomous beavers out there.
And where we live, this beaver could be building a dam blocking the Ohio River.
Exactly. Exactly. Venomous beaver.
Speaking of venomous animals.
Are they?
There's a transition. I am a big fan of the group Southern Culture on the Skids.
Uh-huh.
They have a Facebook page. They have a fan group. I'm on their website all the time. I've got all their albums. I've got an autographed poster from all of them. I've seen them I don't know how many times. So I get instant updates, and then whenever somebody posts on their fan Facebook page, I get the video. So today, I was lucky enough to see video of possums banging on the internet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, you mean copulating. They're not like there's not an internet and they're hitting it.
No. They're going at it.
Okay.
They're having hot possum sex right there on the internet.
Okay.
And somebody saw this and grabbed his phone and said, "Ooh, I've got to record this, and I have to post it on the Southern Culture on the Skids fan page."
Okay.
Because they have an album, Plastic Seat Sweat. Oh, it's a good one, too. It's a good one. Yeah. They used to be on Geffen Records.
Okay.
And they released 2 albums on Geffen, and that was the second one.
Okay.
And the last song on there is Carve That Possum. And I strongly suggest you get on the YouTubes and you download it and listen to it 100 times. It's a really good song.
Okay.
But, it's got possum in it, and since these possums are banging on the internet, it somewhat relates, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Whatever.
I got a question.
Okay.
And this may be a very stupid question.
They did it possum style.
Easy.
No.
In the rundown, you say opossum.
That's how you spell it, with an O.
All the time?
Yeah.
You can't spell so you spell opossum, but you say possum?
Possum is spelled with an O. The correct way to spell possum is with an O.
I don't believe you.
Okay. Don't believe me, but get on your Google.
I'm going to look it up.
Look it up right now.
Because I've seen people say, I've seen it written opossum and I've seen it written possum.
Yeah, if you spell it possum with the P, that's spelled incorrectly.
You're right.
Yeah, it's spelled with an O.
Why?
I have no idea.
I mean,
but that makes me smarter than people because I know that it's spelled opossum.
I don't think you're allowed to have a silent vowel at the beginning of a word.
This is America. We can
Somebody was trying to win a game of Scrabble. That's how that happened. I always thought it was, hey, there's a possum, and somebody was like, "Oh, possum," and then the idiot, Noah Webster happened to be walking
possum.
by. Possum of the wild frontier.
Possum.
Yeah, just jeez.
Yeah.
It's a marsupial. That means it carries,
has a pouch.
It carries its young
night.
on a saddle on its back.
Yeah, on a saddle. We once had a possum walking through our backyard, and it had all its possum puppies on its back.
Easy.
Okay.
Easy.
What?
Easy. That was a good story.
Well, it would have been a good story.
Let me read this for you.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah,
this is from Wikipedia.
Okay.
Which is 100% true.
The most trusted source of news in America.
In the United States and Canada, also known as North America, the only species found is the Virginia opossum.
Mm-hmm. It's not pronounced opossum.
It is, no, I'm reading. It is often simply referred to as an, quote, opossum. An opossum, not a possum.
Right.
And in North America, they are commonly referred to as possums. Sometimes rendered as possums in written form to indicate the dropped little apostrophe. They should not be,
like it's Irish?
Excuse me. They should not be confused.
No.
With the Australasian arboreal marsupials of the order Phalangiformes that are also
English,
called
Mike. English.
that are also called possums because of their resemblance to the Didelphimorphia, of course. The opossum is typically a non-aggressive animal.
Well, yeah.
It's very...
Don't cross it.
So I'm wondering if this was originally written as the opossum is a non-aggressive animal, and then the author got bit, and they had to add typically in there due to legal concerns.
I've got a friend, Steve, and on Facebook, one of our mutual friends had said that she has a possum in her backyard, and she's worried. Is it dangerous? Should she do something to get rid of it? And Steve said, you'll be fine as long as you don't go near the nest where it's protecting its eggs.
Yeah.
possums don't lay eggs, right?
So, right.
So now hold on. And he went on the Google and found a picture of a possum stealing an egg with an egg in its mouth. And he put it on, he said, here, see, there's a possum nursing its young.
Yeah.
She believed it. She believed it, and still to this day probably believes that possums have eggs. Funny.
So in the subgenus, in the subfamily Caloruminae and genus Calorimus, there is the bare-tailed woolly opossum. My cover band in
The
college.
bare-tailed woolly opossum.
There's Derby.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to our stage.
Not to be confused with Derby's woolly opossum.
No.
Or the brown-eared woolly opossum.
Well, you tell them apart because they have brown ears.
Then you've got
and they
the
lay eggs.
Guianian brown four-eyed opossum.
Hey.
And that's insensitive.
That's very insensitive.
Just
What's
because
next?
you
The
wear
cross-eyed possum?
Yeah, you wear corrective lenses, and all of a sudden you're the four-eyed opossum.
Right.
There's the water opossum, or yapok.
Yapok.
There's the big latrine opossum. You don't want to run across a big latrine opossum.
No. We are learning more about possums tonight than I ever thought.
There's the white-eared opossum, the big-eared opossum, the common opossum. I mean, I can go, good God, how many are these? Anderson's four-eyed opossum? Now they're just making up stuff.
I'll have to...
Mickelhenny's four-eyed opossum. That's the Irish opossums there. Mickelhenny's.
Hey, Mickelhenny's.
And finally...
Mind your P's and Q's, ya possums.
Oh my God, now
they're
have
always
different
after
tribes.
me, possums.
There's the Rufus mouse opossum.
Okay.
The little woolly mouse opossum. The Bolivian woolly mouse opossum. And the...
Mike.
Yeah. It just keeps going.
That's what she said.
This is ridiculous. The long-nosed, short-tailed opossum.
The short-haired, wonky-eyed possum.
Now, some of these sound like STDs. The Spracaceneus heterotopicus.
I had that for a while. Took some
The
penicillin.
Trey Maria gray mouse opossum.
Okay.
I'm serious. This thing just keeps going.
I believe you.
The elegant fat-tailed mouse opossum.
Okay.
Oh, I came to the end.
That's what she said.
Wait.
Okay.
This is the best one. The last one on here.
Okay.
The buff-bellied, fat-tailed mouse opossum. Buff-bellied.
Buff-bellied, fat-tailed mouse opossum.
Yeah.
Okay. And this has been Know Your Possums.
Yes.
We interrupt our show for this important announcement. Congratulations to J.D. Shrout, Irritable Dad Syndrome's Listener of the Week. This has been an important announcement.
I found a new way to bother my son, my oldest son.
Okay.
We were in the car and listening to the Spotify.
Really?
And there's a song
Okay.
that came on. It's called Levitating.
Okay.
It's a new song.
All right.
And I don't feel like quite an old fart anymore because I really liked this song. Now, I said,
Okay.
Is this new or is this like 3 or 4 or 5 years old? And I'm still not hip or cool because I'm not listening to new music. And they told me that it was somewhat current. So I don't know how current it is. I could have done some research before this episode, but I didn't. Anyway, the song is called Levitating.
Okay.
I asked who sings the song, and they said it's by Dua Lipa.
Dua Lipa.
Dua Lipa. Okay. I keep calling her Dua Lipa, and they keep telling me it's Dua Lipa, so I keep saying Dua Lipa. And it features DaBaby. And so, but I call DaBaby Da Baby.
Yeah.
And according to my knowledge of the English language and foreign languages, Dua means two.
Yeah.
And Lipa means lips.
Two lips.
So 2 lips, and Da means thanks. So it's two lips and thanks, baby.
Okay.
And it pisses them off. Dad,
Okay, yeah.
that's not...
Yeah.
Jacob just like, okay, Dad, that's what we're going to call the band. And he's just finally just given up.
See, when I read the rundown, I saw Dua Lipa and Dababy. I thought you had a stroke while you were writing that line. I didn't know what happened.
But yeah, it's
Levitating. What kind of song is it?
It's a dance song.
Okay.
Yeah, it's you could call it. Could you call it hip hop?
What do the kids call it these days?
Oh, I don't know.
You can't. No, what I've learned, go into any subreddit or any online, go to Facebook, any type of talk now with the millennials and newer people,
with
like
these
the millennials
today.
and more current people. The age old, back in the day, rock, classic rock, which was anything that was 20 years older.
Exactly.
We had metal. There was just metal.
One type of metal.
Rap.
Okay.
You had folk music. You had pop.
Right.
And then
the Beach Boys.
Pop.
Yeah.
I just already said pop and the Beach Boys.
Right.
So now you've got new metal, classic metal, rap metal,
hair metal, speed metal,
technical metal. Because we got into an argument with Gojira. You're like, well, they're speed metal. I was like, no, they're technical metal. And you're like, shut up.
I didn't say shut up.
Well, you should have.
Okay.
You should have told me to shut up.
There's now death metal. Right?
Death metal. Doom metal.
Okay, I haven't heard of doom metal.
There's stoner metal. Stoner metal's pretty good. Yeah. So I think those names are stupid, but then when I hear the music and I couple it with the name, I see why that name is there. So would they be considered pop or hip hop or
probably hop?
Doom metal.
It's hop music. Hop. It's hop music.
Hop music.
Because it makes you want to hop.
Okay.
It's I would say pop.
Okay.
But Thanks Baby is hip hop.
Okay.
So he's like a special because it's featuring. Back when you and I were kids listening to music, it was never REO Speedwagon featuring Peebo Bryson. It was just this person. Every single song now is featuring somebody.
Every once in a while, a song would feature Sting. Like Money for Nothing.
Exactly.
It's like for a while you'd be, and they didn't advertise it.
It wasn't like Dire Straits featuring
sounds like
Sting. Yeah, he co-wrote that song.
Yeah. Or Under Pressure with David Bowie and
that was Queen and David Bowie.
Yeah,
but it wasn't featuring David Bowie. It was Queen and David Bowie.
Yeah, they double billed. They didn't feature anybody.
Exactly.
So I want to tell you about another newish band, new to us. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. You want to talk about Guadalupe and the Baby?
No. I want to Tulips and Thanks Baby.
Tulips and Thanks Baby.
Classic rock.
Yes.
Okay. We were invited to go on a podcast. And I was listening to this podcast, and they were talking about classic rock.
I listened to the same episode.
And one of the things that they said was, because, when I worked at the grocery store back in the 80s, we listened to WQT, which played classic rock.
Gordon Lightfoot.
No. Leonard Skinner, AC/DC,
Led Zeppelin,
Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, Led Zeppelin, that Fleetwood Mac. That was your genre of classic rock. And now you go back, for the longest time, classic rock stations played the same songs. For like 20 years, they played the exact same songs, the same REO Speedwagon, Black Crowes, and that. And
then they started sneaking Guns N' Roses in.
And now they've put in Pearl Jam and Nirvana.
Yeah.
And they're not classic rock. That was grunge.
Yeah, it's grunge.
That's exactly. or alternative music.
Yeah.
When they first came out, they were alternative, but they're grunge. Pearl Jam does not belong on a classic rock station.
I don't like the. I know what podcast and what episode you're talking about.
Yeah.
I disagree vehemently with the idea that the classifications change as they go forward. I think classic rock is classic. If Led Zeppelin is not in your classic rock, it's not classic rock.
That's right.
Right?
Right.
And you can't sneak Pearl Jam into your classic rock. It belongs in, what does Pearl Jam belong in?
Pearl Jam is...
I mean, it was alternative, but looking back, it's basically
that goes on the alternative rock station.
Yeah, but if you need a new name for stuff, then make a new name for it. That's what we did with rock. Rock didn't exist before, like, what, the 50s?
Right.
And
when rock was based off of swing music.
Yeah, my point is I agree with that. So I have made an absolute effort to get into the new music. The last thing I want to be is that crotchety old bastard that sits there complaining about all the new music.
I agree.
And I started to become that guy.
I agree, because I said I would do not want to become my father.
Yeah.
My dad hated my music. If it didn't have a banjo in it, he wouldn't listen to it.
So I've found, and I will, the old crotchety bastard comes in, I will start listening to something, and I'll be like, I want to listen to something else that I remember from the old days. But a few bands have stuck with me. One is One Republic. We saw them open up for YouTube.
They were amazing.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Another one that you and I saw was AWOL Nation. Mm-hmm. I've become a huge AWOL Nation fan.
Who did they open up for?
Rage Against the
Prophets of Rage.
Prophets of Rage and all that.
Yeah.
I love the lead singer's voice because he goes in this dancey thing and then he gets into a screamy thing. He's one of those people.
Wait,
now,
so it's a dancey thing that goes to a screamy thing.
You remember? Yeah. Yes, it's a dancey, screamy
thing.
It's like pop music, but then he starts screaming and it briefly goes over into... Like it's interesting music.
Okay,
just listen to it.
Okay,
get on the Spotify.
Okay.
Megalithic Symphony is probably my favorite album of theirs.
Okay,
and that's mostly what they played. That had just come out when we saw Prophets of Rage. But he can be like very tonally great or whatever that's called. He can sing well. And then all of a sudden,
what I like about him? He's tonally great.
Now I don't. Okay, I'm going to mention a name, and I do not put these two in the same category. So I don't want you. I don't want to get your hackles raised on this. Chris Cornell, was exceptionally good melodic singer, but he could scream.
Yes,
scream well.
He could scream and he could sing.
Yeah. So the dude in AWOL Nation can't do it to the level that Chris Cornell did, but it reminds me of I was like, that's a dude that can sing well, and then when it's required, he can scream. I will caution you, when you're listening to this music in the car with your kids, Spotify does you a favor. It'll put a little E next to the songs where a bad word will come out.
Oh, okay.
This dude has the proclivity to utter or scream right out in the middle. It'll be a happy song about dancing through the flowers. They have, I forget the name of the song, but they have one song. They go all the way through, and he just says, "That's why it feels so good." I was like, you didn't have to. You literally didn't have to do that.
You did not have.
You
to
really
do
didn't have to do that, but you did.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I remember that when we're driving, I'm like, oh, it's a good song. Kids are like in the back, and I'm like, oh, it's coming. So I don't turn it down. I don't know if you do this. Do you censor? Like
I do.
Like if a word's coming up, like honk the horn and scream and or something like that on the car. Yeah.
Highway to Hell. I'm on it. Yeah, turn it down.
Yeah.
Because I just don't.
You just don't want to. You don't want to be like, oh, I heard that word.
I don't
Dad's
feel like
car.
I'm overprotective, but because Highway to Hell, that's about the rock and roll lifestyle.
Yes,
that's not about actually going to hell.
Right.
It's about. It's like he says, "I'm on my way to promised land." He thinks that he can do anything and everything.
Yeah.
The drugs and the alcohol and the parties and everything else, but in fact, he's on the highway to hell.
Yeah.
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 Which is not.
Yeah.
Because I was explaining that to Cameron one day. Like, that song's not about the devil and hell and everything. That's about that. Oh, okay. Can I go play it like this now? Yeah, you sure can. Yeah. Okay, good talk.
So, side note, and this isn't really for the podcast. Yeah, Darin, you can cut this part out.
Gotcha.
Is the Tool song Dire Evon Satan that's on Enema, their album Enema, which has a very hardcore, sounding beat, and
so it sounds like you're stepping on a bag of potato chips.
It has this really heavy German voice going, it sounds like he's talking backwards. It sounds very, very satanic. But if you translate the words, he's reading the ingredient or the recipe for chocolate chip cookies.
That's awesome.
Hey kids, it's now time for Dave's Comedy Corner. Here's a question for you. Why is it okay to put eggs in a cake mix, but gross to put frosting on an omelet?
Waka, waka, waka.
This has been Dave's Comedy Corner, brought to you this week by the Rhode Island Tourism Foundation. Plan your next vacation to the Ocean State at www.visitrhodeisland.com.
My oldest son got a part-time job.
Awesome. Where?
Jacob works at a Buffalo Wings and Rings.
The one that we go to.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. So he's...
what does he do? Is he like a cook?
He's a host.
Okay. Oh, so he greets you when you come in.
He greets you and he takes you to your table. And so far, everybody loves him. Everybody thinks he's great. And he's doing a fantastic job. And we're very proud of him. And he likes it. So
would it be funny?
If you and I went and threw raised a scene.
Yeah, like it would be funny if we walked in and he comes over and I'm like, excuse me, I'd like someone with experience.
Get your hands off me. Thank you. I think that would be great. Yeah.
You can't even spell chicken wings.
His first night, he comes home and we asked him how everything went. And, if he had a good time or whatever, some woman walks in and he tells her, he says, welcome to Buffalo Wings and Rings and I'll be right with you. Get your table. She goes, oh no, I don't want anything. I just want to throw away these chicken bones. She brought in a bag of chicken bones.
Wait, from the outside?
Yes. I don't know if she bought them at Kroger and just woofed them down in the car.
That's someone to be reckoned with, man. Somebody brings bones into your establishment, you listen to what they have to say.
Jacob's drum teacher says, hang on a second, we're going to need to scan these because they're marked. Yeah. All the bones are marked, and we need to see that you bought them here because we're not allowed to throw away other bones.
There's like a femur in there somewhere.
She brought her chicken bones in. Like, you can't throw them away anywhere else. And I'm like, good luck, man. And by the way, you just got yourself a story on Daddy's podcast.
Let me interrupt the show here real quick. We've got a question. I'd like to hear your thoughts on the Cincinnati classic movie Airborne. I've never heard of that. Have you heard of that? You're a Cincinnati freak.
Classic movie Airborne.
What's Airborne?
I was thinking, is that with the dog that plays basketball?
That's Air Bud.
That's Air Bud.
You know what's sad and sick? Is that the second time I've heard about Air Bud this week?
Have you seen the episode of Crank Yankers where Special Ed calls the movie theater? No. And the guy answers and he's like, "Hey lady, how much is one movie ticket?" He says, "Well, it's $4." Yay! "Hey lady, how much are 2 tickets?" "Well, that would be $8." "Yay, I could take 2 of my friends." And anyway, he keeps asking if they show Air Bud. And the guy finally hung up on him.
So Airborne is a 1993 movie, has Jack Black, Seth Green, Shane McDermott. When his parents go to Australia for 6 months to work on a zoology project, young Mitchell is sent to live with his Aunt Irene and Uncle Louie in Cincinnati. Initially dismayed by the cold climate, Mitchell's unhappiness increases when he's taunted by the high school's popular kids. As he strikes up a relationship with Nikki, Mitchell begins to win over his bullies by using his rollerblading skills in street hockey games. That sounds horrible. Yeah. That sounds like an awful movie.
I haven't seen it. It may be great.
It could be wonderful.
Is it on Netflix? I don't know. I haven't seen it.
It's got a 21% in Rotten Tomatoes.
21%?
Yeah.
Ooh. 21 out of what? Out of 100?
Yeah. It stars, it also has Owen Stedell.
Oh.
And Chris Conrad. You remember Chris Conrad?
Oh, from the Chris Conrad show. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the top question about this movie is, quote, "Is Airborne a movie?"
Uh-huh.
Oh.
I've never heard of it. Now, movies that were made in Cincinnati that I have seen.
There was one with George Clooney.
Yeah,
because me and Bess, we heard he was in town, and we went to the restaurant.
Yeah, it was Arlington Road. A great movie. Yeah,
it was True Dirt.
Rain Man was shot in Cincinnati.
No, it was.
It was too.
Wait, he wanted to go to a Kmart in Cincinnati to get his underwear,
and he drives over the Roebling suspension bridge and does it.
Here's a stupid thing for people to know about Rain Man.
Okay,
the fart in the phone booth.
Yeah,
was completely improv.
Yeah,
did you know that?
I did know that. I'd heard that, yes.
That makes me love Tom Cruise that much more.
Yes.
That he came up with the line, "Did you fart?"
Yeah.
I know that's not like a very, what's that called? Cerebral word thing. "Did you fart?"
Right.
But I thought it was pretty
good. Milk Money was shot in Cincinnati.
What the hell's Milk Money?
What's her face?
Oh.
And some other guys.
Chloe Deschanel with her bangs.
Yes.
With her stupid bangs.
Shawshank Redemption was shot somewhere near here.
Oh, dude, it's a yes, because I wanted to take the family there, and Bess was like, "You want to take our kids to a prison?
To an abandoned prison."
Yeah. I was like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
Hey, here's where the sisters caught Andy Dufresne and
Yeah.
the first time.
The bull queers.
Would it help if they knew I wasn't homosexual? Neither are they. You got to be human for that."
That was the longest night of his life.
I wish I could say Andy put up won that fight.
I wish I could say that. Go ahead and stamp your form, Sonny. I don't give a Yeah. That was the longest night of his life. Yeah, good times. Well,
Why
we've
do
run
they
out of
call
time.
you Red?
Guess
Maybe
it's
it's because I'm Irish.
Yep.
This portion of our show is brought to you by Circuit City.
Speaking of bad movies,
Uh-huh.
Libby drugged me,
Uh-huh.
kicking and screaming,
Oh, no.
to take Cameron to see Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Have you seen Sonic the Hedgehog 1?
No.
How did you not know that was going to be a bad movie?
I knew it was going to be a bad movie. I didn't want to go.
You willingly went in knowing
I,
it was... Yeah,
I did
okay,
not
it's-
want to
yeah.
go, and Libby's like, "You're coming with me to see this movie with Cameron." Finally, I just...
You know, Tails is in this one.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I found that out. Dude, I swear, the last time I had seen a movie that I hated this bad, I think was...
Was Keanu Reeves was being thrown through glass?
yes. But before that was Ace Ventura Pet Detective 2.
What?
Pet Detective 2 was... Pet Detective 1 was good.
Which
The
one did he
second-
come out of the rhino's butt?
I think that was 2.
That was funny.
Yeah. But anyway, I finally just curled up and just went to sleep. It's like, wake me up when it's over with. And I like Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
I really like Jim Carrey, but he was more annoying in this movie than all of his movies combined.
Yeah.
And I like the guy. I genuinely like Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
But it was bad. It was really, really bad.
I tell you what, a Jim Carrey movie that I've seen once and I cannot watch again because I've tried.
Mm-hmm.
It annoys me so much. And I the same as you. I love Jim Carrey.
Mm-hmm.
The Mask. I saw it once.
Somebody
and I loved
stop
it.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can't. I've tried to watch it again, and I'm like,
Yeah.
ugh.
Hey, what happened?
I've got a Just Stop for this week that involves
No
movies. I do. I haven't had a Just Stop in a while. Okay. Libby and I, at night, before we go to bed, we'll watch a TV show. Sometimes we'll watch a movie in our bedroom.
Okay.
And I get so pissed when in the TV show or the movie, someone checks their phone and then they're
It's
reading
got
a text.
that damn thing on the
They're reading the text. I can't read the text from the bed. I have to pause it and then I sit up.
No, you don't.
I'm not kidding. I have bifocals. Okay. I'm so old. I have bifocals. I have to jack with my glasses. Sometimes I have to walk over to the TV and then I read Libby what the text says on the phone.
Yeah.
And I'll just keep standing there because they've read one text. Surely they're going to read 2 or 3 more.
Yeah.
Ted Lasso is the worst for it. The chick who owns the soccer team on Ted Lasso reads texts all day long.
See, I really liked when they started doing that because you could see him pop up. But
They need to put it at the bottom of the screen. Big.
okay.
40-inch font.
If you did you ever watch House of Cards? I know nobody watches it. You're not allowed to watch it now. It's
I
like,
tried,
yeah.
and this is before
Okay.
the whole debacle.
Yeah.
I tried, and I could not get into it,
Yeah.
even though I'm a huge fan of Kevin Spacey.
Before
The usual suspects.
Yeah.
Listen, I know everything that happened.
He's like Bill Cosby now. You've got to say
I know,
back
I
in
know,
Puddin' Pop era.
but I still have The Usual Suspect as like the number 3 greatest movie of all time.
dude, that foot coming out. I'm sorry.
yeah.
I was spoiling a 30-year-old movie or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I got obsessed with House of Cards. I loved it when it was going, but they did that thing. The problem I had with it was my job at the time. I had a BlackBerry. Millennials, a BlackBerry is what people used before everyone realized that it's either Apple or it's Galaxy or it's nothing.
I
really.
had a BlackBerry.
I mean, we are at the point now where everybody either has an iPhone or they have an Android, and by Android you mean Galaxy. If you have an Android that's not a Galaxy, people are like, "What is that? What a Nokia Plus?"
Right.
Okay. So I had a BlackBerry, and BlackBerry had a very distinct ringing sound, and everybody in House of Cards, it had that same ringing sound. Well, I'm an engineer. Okay. I get calls all through the night. It happens. All right. And that sound was the same sound as my work phone. So as I'm watching the show, Bess would be like, will you stop? Like, it would go, and I'd be, and then I'd see Kevin Spacey answering the phone. I was like,
Yeah.
can you, I was wanting to send a note to Netflix, change his ringtone.
Right. Their ringtones need to be the same thing as like a 555. Whenever they call a 555, you know that's a bullshit Hollywood TV phone number.
Yeah, it needs to be a long-eared opossum scream.
Something. It's a stretch.
A buff-bellied.
But okay.
A buff-bellied opossum.
A wonky-eyed cat possum. So your wife is a criminal.
I got a text.
Okay.
She went to go pick up Andrew from his basketball practice. I got a text. I need you to send me a picture of our insurance card. That's not a good text to get. And what's even more disturbing about that text is I got it about a half hour after she sent it. Mm-hmm. I don't know what I was doing, but I wasn't sitting by the phone.
Right.
I come back and I see that text, and right after that, never mind, they're going to let me go. I just have to show they are going to let me go. So, I mean, it's like the beginning of
the hostages.
Yeah, you remember 24 with Kiefer Sutherland?
Yes.
It's like a
ching ching, ching ching, ching ching, ching ching,
yeah.
ching ching.
Okay. So she comes home and she got a ticket. She ran a stop sign.
Okay.
In front of a cop. Just right there.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm like, I can't do the Ray Romano.
Why are you running the stop sign when there's a police officer right there?
So she told me. She told me I did stop. Mm-hmm. I stopped where the stop sign should have been. It's like, you can't do that. That's not going to hold up in the court of law.
Your Honor.
You can't, Your Honor.
Please.
I realized that the stop sign was at the end of the street.
Sustained.
In my opinion, it should have been in the middle of the intersection where God intended it to be. She said she went past the stop sign because there was a bush or a shrubbery or something. I don't know. I need to listen to what she says more. But she couldn't see around this obstruction. So she, in the interest of public safety, she ran the stop sign in front of the police officer in order to see around the shrubbery at what may be coming the other direction.
And now she's
you may ask, did that person also have a stop sign? And the answer is yes, but that didn't enter into her narrative of what happened. She said all of a sudden, lights went going, woo! Yep. The cop came up, got out, walked up to her, and she said, "You scared me to death." Like, okay, now it's you ran a stop sign. The cop caught you. He walks up. The first thing he hears you say is, "You scared me to death." And so he was understanding. Mm-hmm. Okay. Asked for her insurance and license. She had one of the two.
Sure.
Yeah.
She had the good one.
Hence the text. Okay. So she had to mail in payment, $139. That seems like $139.
That seems steep for
especially when it's where the stop sign should have been. Right. Now, if you blew past the stop sign with middle fingers afly, throwing Jack Daniels bottles out, and yeah.
What are them Duke boys up to now?
And Rob Zombie blaring.
Dig through the ditches and burn.
You deserve the entire $139 ticket.
But it's best.
But if you're rolling past the stop sign and you're stopping where the stop sign, quote, should be, I don't think you should get that much of a fine. I think they should pay you. You're doing a public service.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be back there. It should be up here.
Yeah. We need to get our lawyer, Andrew Gibbons, on this.
We should.
And have him defend her. Because in the courtroom, he crushes people. He destroys people.
So I've always heard that if you are caught in a traffic infraction, speeding or whatever it is, they've got you on radar, they've got you on camera and all this stuff. Don't fight it. Just
plead insanity.
Yeah, just don't fight it. Just pay your thing and go on with your life. But I think...
You ever hear the Stephen Wright joke? He got a parking ticket.
Yeah.
He pled insanity. Your Honor, you have to be crazy to park in the passing lane.
I think it would be a pretty good legal defense to say the stop sign should have been here.
Yeah. Exhibit A.
It shows courage.
As you can see, I parked here when I should have stopped here.
He's turned into Cartman all of a sudden. Respect my authority.
Respect my authority.
Yeah. But I don't. She's already sent the payment in, and I had to print out the insurance proof. So this is done. But I think it's a missed opportunity.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to tie this in with the story that I teased at the beginning of the show. I have a friend who actually used to be a police officer, but we went to college and we went to high school together. And there was one night we went to a club to watch a band play, and I didn't drink beer at the time. So he says, you can be my designated driver.
That's back when you just drank straight moonshine.
Just straight. I would put it over the shoulder. I had my overalls on and my straw hat, and I was barefoot when I would drink the shine.
Okay.
Anyway, we're at this bar and we're watching this band play, and he decides that it's going to be a good idea to drink an entire pitcher of Killian's Red by himself.
Okay.
He drinks a pitcher of beer, and I think he got another one. He couldn't finish it.
Killian's Red's not really beer.
Okay. Well,
that's the one where you get a pitcher and then somebody across the thing says, "I ain't beer."
what's the joke? It's like sex in a canoe close to water. Yeah. I'll edit that out. Anyway, I'm driving him back to his apartment, and he says, I don't think I'm feeling that good. And I said, do you need me to stop? No, I'm okay. But I don't think I'm feeling that good.
Okay.
I said, dude, I will stop. Tell me to stop. No, he says, I'm good. And anyway, so I'm racing to get him to the apartment. Yeah. I get him to his apartment. He hauls ass in there and starts throwing up like there's no tomorrow. He's heaving like crazy, just
painting the walls.
Exactly. Yeah. Absolutely exactly. I'm a very good friend. So he's sitting there. He's just ripped. Right?
Yeah.
Throwing up like mad. I go and I get him some water. I'm like, drink the water because it'll keep you from... It's like if you're going to heave, at least you'll have something to throw up. And then I go through his cabinets and I find some saltine crackers. Here, eat these. They'll settle your stomach. Yeah. He's like, you're a good friend. I'm sorry. You're a good friend. You're a good friend. I'm sorry, man. You're such a good friend. I'm sorry. Yeah. So, and then, he finally settles down, and I go through some more of his cabinets, and I found that he had some peppermint candies. And I say, here, put these in your mouth. If you've got a decent taste in your mouth, that always helps me. He goes, oh, you're a good friend. You're such a good friend. The phone rings. I go over and I pick up the phone, and it's his girlfriend. Oh. And I said, hello. And she goes, hi. And I said, hey, how are you? She goes, well, I'm not having a really good night. I'm like, why? And she goes, because you're over there and I'm over here. And,
oh my Lord. She thinks you're him.
And I really miss you. And I was thinking about the last time we saw each other, and I start. And she says, what is so funny? I'm like, this is Darin. Hang on a second. Yeah. I get my buddy, and he gets at the phone and goes, hey, I'm sorry. I love you. I'm sorry. Here's Darin. And he hits the phone back. I'm like, so what were we talking about? Can we get back to, and she's like, yeah, haha, that's pretty funny. Yeah. Is he okay? Yeah, he's going to be just fine. And that's my classic designated driver story of the night. Yeah, good times.
That's awesome. We got to do a weigh-in, or we're going to miss this.
Okay.
We're going to miss the opportunity.
Okay. Mike is doing a lifestyle change.
Yeah. I gained.
You gained?
I gained. Easter. And I see, I judge people when we go into holidays. When holidays come, my judgment starts to increase. I'm ready to judge everyone.
Yeah.
People at work will say, oh, the holidays are coming up. And I'm like, what do you mean the holiday? You can't just eat rice cakes and air.
Right.
When the holidays, you have to eat the cheesecake?
They
have to eat the
sell
chocolate eggs?
Carrots 365 days out of the year.
Carrots are delicious.
Eat the celery, eat the carrots.
And then I become so sanctimonious and judgmental of other people that I begin to believe that I can eat the chocolate chip cookie and it will have no effect.
Right.
Because I don't really want it. I don't have to do this.
Right.
I'm just doing this because it's what everybody's doing, but it's not going to affect me.
Yeah.
I ran 4 miles 3 weeks ago. This isn't going to do anything to me.
I'm bulletproof.
So Easter happens. That's the holiday that just happened.
Yes,
Easter is replete with candy.
Yes.
That's the word of the week.
Replete.
I have a real problem with Cadbury eggs, not the cream eggs. I used to have a problem with the cream eggs, but I've developed a sincere problem. Like, Al-Anon problem with the eggs that are chocolate and they have the sugar coating on the outside.
Yeah.
I can kill a bag of those a night.
I hear you. I totally hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like an idiot. I bought those and I put them in eggs and then there was like a couple of bags left. So I just, when the kid, I gave a full bag to one of the kids and I gave a full bag of jelly beans to the other, balance them out. The next day, unashamedly,
Right.
I reached into Andrew's basket, got an egg, maintaining eye contact with him, popped in one of the chocolate eggs, and just started eating them one by one.
Penultimately.
In front of him.
Right in front of him.
And I said, and with chocolate coming out of my mouth, buddy, I'm sorry. Daddy needs these.
What are you going to do about it? Leave me alone. I'm starving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I ate like 3 or 4 of them.
Uh-huh.
And then he went out to play football with Charlie, and I
Ate the rest.
crammed another 10 in. Then I felt bad. So then I started stealing from Charlie's eggs. I had a bad day.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Easter. This was the first Easter in 20 years. I don't know how long it's been, but my mom, who's lived up here, she came over for Easter dinner. Usually we don't go that crazy on Easter dinner.
Yeah.
We did have, this is also the anniversary of Libby's friend coming over saying, I don't want to be here. Where's your front door? And we had a moment of silence for that. So, but we had a big Easter dinner. We had ham.
Yeah.
We had some turkey because Libby doesn't like ham. We
Yeah.
had mashed potatoes. We had a green bean casserole. Okay, we had the rolls, deviled eggs. I made punch, which is just Sprite and lime sherbet. And then Libby made.
That's your damn lime sherbet.
I told her not to make it. Okay, I told her do not make it.
If it's red velvet cake, I'm going to kick you out of my
No,
house.
she
Okay.
made eclair cake. Okay,
What's an eclair?
You know what an eclair is, right?
I don't know what an eclair
Okay,
is.
it's like vanilla pudding
Oh.
inside a pastry with a chocolate coating on the top. I know.
Okay.
Shut up, right?
Yeah.
She made an entire eclair cake.
What the hell's wrong with her?
I told her not to. And then she says, well, we'll just make it and we can give it away. No, you're not going to give it away.
You don't do that.
If you make it, I'm going to eat it.
Good
So
God.
she made it and
Yeah.
I ate it. I gorged myself.
Yeah.
And now, listen, when I made my plate on Easter Sunday,
Yeah.
I thought I was getting small portions. But when you have 12 sides,
You have to taste everything.
yeah.
It's requirement.
it's-
It would be rude not to.
So I had the ham and the turkey
Yeah.
and the 2 rolls. And I don't know how many deviled eggs. I have a problem with deviled eggs. I don't know how many of those I ate.
yeah.
And then I had the eclair, and my mom brought over chocolate chip cookies. I didn't even weigh myself because I was like
Yeah.
walking over to the scale. I know fat boy here is not. There's no way.
So last week I clocked in at 222.
Mm-hmm.
Today I clock in at 224.
Okay, sorry.
It was worse.
Yeah.
It was worse than that.
Yeah.
I actually tried to be good yesterday. I did a lot of damage this weekend.
Yeah. I was better today.
Yeah.
And I was better yesterday.
Yeah, I had a salad for
yeah.
lunch today, and I had a little thing of lasagna, like a small piece. I'm going to eat Ruffles chips tonight, but that's a different story.
I've been doing sit-ups every day.
You have?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've brought out the AB bench and I did 10 sit-ups every day because I got baby steps.
Yeah.
The first day I did sit-ups, I did 10.
Okay.
Oh my God, the pain.
Oh, yeah.
The pain hurt so bad. Next day I did it and it hurt. Third day wasn't as bad. And I did it and now I'm doing 15 a day.
Oh, yeah.
And then next week I'm going to work up to 20.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to gradually get to where I can do 1,000 a day. 1,000 sit-ups a day. And then I'll be like, fight me. Come on.
If you're listening here, and typically podcasts do this at the beginning, we'll do it at the end. Please go
the
to
4
our
people who are still listening.
for the 4 people. Please go to our website, irritabledadsyndrome.com, and sign up for the email mailing list because we actually have one now.
Yeah.
We have one person. Well, 2, including one and then me. So
I'm the other guy.
it actually sends out really cool emails.
Yes.
And I'm going to start using it more and more to let people know, like, when an episode is dropping, when we have topics we want you to talk about, when we're going to go live, because sometimes, most of the time we do this on Tuesdays. Sometimes life intervenes and we have to do it on a Wednesday or a Thursday or, God forbid, a Saturday or Sunday.
Right.
Maybe one of these nights, maybe one of these Monday nights, I'm not going to make the deadline, and I'll just send an email saying, you know what, suck it,
Right.
and you'll get it on Wednesday. I hope that day never comes.
Right. I do
but
too.
It would be cool if you guys sign up for the email list so we can get this information out to you.
Yeah.
And it's a fun little feature.
One other thing I want to mention is we want your feedback.
Yes.
We are on episode 87. We are slowly creeping up on our 2-year anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
We want to know what your favorite moments are from the past year.
Oh,
Because
good
we're
Lord,
going
yes.
to do a best of episode at episode 104.
Yeah.
It's going to be our 2-year anniversary.
Wow.
So if you have any favorite
amazing.
moments, I know.
Yeah.
Any favorite moments, any things that stuck out, whether it's me, whether it's Mike, whether it's Dave Lay, let us know, and
Yep.
we're going to include that, if we can, into our best of.
Please review us.
Yeah,
For
we
some
wanna-
reason, Apple, a lot of our downloads are coming from Apple.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine.
Yeah.
You do you.
Yeah.
But you review us on these things.
Yeah.
From what I read, if you review someone on Apple, it like shoots you up to the stratosphere. I don't
Yeah.
know why, but please do that.
Yeah, let us know
Review
what you
us,
think.
Put stars on the thing. Interact with us. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
And we hope to see you next week on Irritable Dad Syndrome.
Happy trails to you until we meet again.
Yeah, God, we sure know what we're talking about, don't we?
Oh,
yeah.
Lord.